Good day everybody, Sebastian Keynes here with another Watch Our Realms video. As you noticed in the calendar for this weekend, we have the Spiritual Altar open for the first time in the global server, and with it, they have released the Chaos Dominion. It's a faction that you currently can only acquire using these ancient crystals. They have released a number of legendaries, which it includes the Defender Gan. He is one of the best heroes, I believe, for this faction, along with Cerberus. Cerberus is actually a character that I do have in the Forerunners account, and that I able to manage to pull him, but it was from the general pool because he's also part of the cultist faction. I believe that at some point he will get transitioned into the regular pool alongside with Atrax, possibly after this specific event is finished. But all the other heroes that you see here in the gallery most likely will remain in the ancient pool for a while. You're going to have a number of heroes that you're going to be able to get, including Cade, including Lugaru, Dasami, Sargak, and Dursa. Of all these potential additions to your account, they are pretty much integrated and they're being sold as arena specific champions, because part of their passive, it decreases the cost of deployment in arena. And every single one of them have some type of caveat. AoE damage. They either are other heroes that can put bleed on. They have damage reduction. They can increase damage in the arena, specifically given their passives. I think that if I was to go and summon for this weekend in the Ancient banner, that I would definitely want Gon, because he adds to the lore bonus, which is that he gives you a boost on your basic attributes by 15%, and once your allies are part of the comp, he will boost their damage based on HP, and also right away you get an extra attack and defense when your HP drops. So it kind of makes sense that one of the applicabilities for this would be in PvP. I've switched over to my Forerunners account. As you can see here, I have been able to pull two of the Chaos Dominion heroes, but they were also part of the cultist faction, so they are part of the regular pool when it comes to the Forerunner servers, which is not, but they are not yet in the global server. I have been able to actually use Cerberus for advancing my, when I was actively playing in the Forerunners, I used Cerberus to advance in stages like Arena, and I actually used them in AMR to try to beat the one quest in the storyline. One of the things about this faction is that they are in a sense chaotic, because in some way, shape, or form, they will sacrifice themselves. And if you go in to read their kits, it pretty much most of their power come from losing HP, or in some way sacrificing themselves. In the example here, Lugaru, you have to have your HP below a certain threshold before his damage starts to ramp up. In the case of Cerberus, and this is one of the unique things about him, is that when you deploy him and he sits down, he does one move. He does his basic attack, which is essentially dealing AoE damage. But then he'll just sit. Once you activate his ultimate, he essentially gets this pool around him, and the damage comes from that little area, AoE area. So anybody that is approaching is going to get damaged, not by him attacking, but by him using his ultimate and then releasing the Spectre Binding. And that is what then revs up the damage. And then in addition to that, he has a talent where if he dies, he then leaves this cloud in the platform, and as this ground units start walking to it, not only will they get damaged, but they will get slowed down. So let me give you an example just with Cerberus here. So let me go into Arena, and I think that I have him set up for this situation here. Let me just click auto, and I was just using here Bierna and using Cerberus for this, and get him boosted with Dolores to give him that increased attack. I could have added the cultist lore hero to increase his stats a little bit. So right there, Bierna is doing the damage. But here's the second part of it, and here's where I'm going to be using him for this the second wave. So first of all, when he is placed down, he does his basic. So you saw that there. So he did his basic, and now he has then now set up his passive, this damage cloud. So anything that comes through here now will get damage, and at the same time will be slowed down. So when he does his ultimate, he then sacrifices himself, and then you can see all this waterbound area is just going to deal AoE damage, especially in the higher tiers of Arena. So he's very specialized as to how you use him, and you gotta use him in a very particular manner. Let me go and transition here quickly to the last stage that I beat when I was actively playing in this side of the server. So here, so I had, when I pulled him, one of the areas that I thought right away that where he could help me was in trying to complete the Volca quest of clearing stage 12. I'm just bringing in my fighters, and I'm bringing a healer, and I think I even bring Dolores in for the boost. So Regulus is going to be the tank here. Regulus is going to be placed down. So now I have slowed him down. Here's my fighter. This I think is Falcia, which is not in the global server. But here on top, what I want you to notice is that he was already doing damage with this cloud. He did his one basic attack, and now I activated his ultimate. Now he sacrificed himself, and he left a little aura, the waterbound skill behind, and that is what damaged Salazar at the end there. So there you can actually see he did about 1 million damage, just as much as my Falcia there, which she was consistently in the battle. He will definitely do some specific things that you can do to deal damage, especially in Arena. And given the gear that I had at the time in this account, which is still very mid-game, there was still a lot of progression that needed to be done. But I have managed to give him about 1500 attack, and he had about 61% crit rate and some crit damage. Rage regeneration, of course, does not matter for him because he will sacrifice himself. His deployment or his revival time, it says, is 60, I believe, but in the end it actually is 90, because every time that he dies, his revival time increases by 30. That is a basic overview of the Chaotic Dominion. I wish that I had the other heroes that I could have played with. Unfortunately, when I was in the Forerunners servers, I didn't have the luxury to be able to spend on it. So I did this free to play, and tried to get as much resources as I could to try to farm gear and level up as many characters as I could. But once I had them, and I talked to my guildmates at the time, they strongly suggested that I did invest in him and use him to clear specific PvE content, and possibly even help me in PvP to try to get into the upper levels of Arena. So that's about the roundabout of my general knowledge on the Chaos Dominion faction. They are very niche champions. You can use them for Arena. They give you attributes that improve your Arena play. If there are 3 of them in this pool that I would like to add to the account, it would definitely be Cerberus and Lugaro for me. To close out this overview of the Chaos Dominion, what I am doing in the global server is that I'm holding my ancient summons. I'm going to wait another month before I even consider releasing them. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that in comparison to the Forerunner servers, you saw that the amount of Lord heroes and then Chaos Dominion heroes that are being released is less than what we know the pool will be in the future. And when I came back in and started looking around, I do also take into consideration that some of these factions had other lords added to them, which I think which are only available to be summoned from those ancient crystals. So at that time, I think when that pool is expanded and we have the availability to summon these other lord heroes that are included, that I will most likely be summoning in the global server when it comes to the ancient crystals. And I also know that right now I can still pursue some very good lord heroes with the rare crystals. Before we go, I do have 2 ancient crystals here on the Forerunner server, so we'll just pop them. We'll see what happens. There's an actual 10x for Morrigan right now when it comes to this. So the few crystals that I was able to obtain from the Forerunner servers, I have never really pulled an epic or a legendary. They're mostly rares. So in this regard, we got just 2 of the rares, which is kind of standard to my experience being free to play and acquiring these ancient crystals. Let's see if we have some rare crystals. We only have 9 here. My account play has been very minimal, so I'm not getting the standard amount of rare crystals that I could be getting. But it looks like I just added Lilac to the account on this side, so that's pretty good. We will take that. Is the modified Lilac, so I guess we'll get to try that out and see how much they change them in this side. Eventually, I think that revision will end up in the global server. They just thought that he was doing too much damage, so for a healer. So we got 1 good epic. So it looks like from the 9 here, that's what we're looking at. Okay, and we got 3 left. Let's go 1 more and come on. Oh, no way. Oh. No, you're not gonna get 5 stars from me from giving me another crash in this account. I was clicking too fast, so we missed the yellow glow. But it's another crash. I think that this account already had a crash. Oh no. I think that was the first time that I got a legendary from a single pool. That was amazing. Oh my god. So let me verify to make sure. Was there another one? If I remember correctly on this side. Yeah, let me do by rarity. Or did I just add that little dwarf to this? No, it was a dupe. It is a dupe. Oh no. Oh man. Welcome back to the Forerunner server, I guess, right? Oh no. Oh man. What do you know about that? Well, that is an interesting interesting way to end that video. So that'll do it for this video, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and I will see you next time on another Watcher of Realms video.